Welcome to The Explainer. So what if you could actually see the future of our biggest decisions? Today, we're diving into a technology that could totally change how we argue, how we govern, and maybe even how we solve our most wicked problems.
Okay, let's start with something we all kind of know, but maybe don't think about enough. The algorithms that run our world are not neutral, not at all. They're powerful systems with built-in goals, and they're designed to actively shape our digital environment, which, as we know, shapes our reality.
And they do this through a really powerful feedback loop. See, they're built to grab our attention. And the easiest way to do that is by triggering strong emotions. That emotional kick starts to influence what we believe. And of course, what we believe drives how we act. And when enough of us act in a new way, boom, you've just reshaped social norms.
Now here's the problem. When the main goal is just engagement, the system figures out pretty fast that outrage and fear work like a charm. But that has a huge side effect, right? It just pumps up the division, it chips away at the shared facts we all need to have a productive debate, and, well, it ends up destabilizing the whole democratic process.
And the stakes here are unbelievably high. I mean, this broken public square isn't just about arguments on the internet. It's paralyzing our ability to deal with what's being called the polycrisis, this giant tangled mess of global challenges, from climate change to social division. We're just stuck. We're stuck because we can't even agree on what the problems are, let alone how to solve them.
So this really brings us to a choice. Are we going to stay trapped in these emotional, speculative debates that just go nowhere? Or can we shift to a whole new way of making decisions, something called modeled deliberation, which is all about evidence, analyzing consequences, and building a shared picture of reality?
But how do you even make a shift that big? I mean, what if we could fundamentally change the very nature of our debates? What if you could see the probable future of your biggest ideas, your biggest policy choices, before you actually pull the trigger?
This is the core idea behind something called a digital twin. And honestly, you can think of it like a flight simulator, but for public policy. It's a dynamic virtual copy of a real-world system, like an economy, an ecosystem, a whole city. And it lets us run simulations to see the likely outcomes of our decisions in a totally safe virtual space.
So here's how it would actually work. First, you build this super detailed map of a complex system. Then, you plug in different policy ideas. The digital twin runs all these simulations, showing you the likely future consequences of every choice. And then, and this is the key part, the debate you have is grounded in that modeled reality, not just gut feelings or ideology.
And that right there is the game changer. The whole conversation shifts from, I believe this is the right thing to do, to the model shows this is the likely outcome. You see? It moves us away from abstract ideology and toward tangible, projected consequences. By actually visualizing these different potential futures, all those abstract consequences suddenly become real and concrete. We're not just arguing about ideas anymore. It's like we're looking at a map with two different roads and deciding which destination we actually want to end up at.
Now, a tool this powerful, as you can imagine, is part of a much, much bigger vision. The sources we're looking at introduce these digital twins as a key piece of a proposed global coordination system they call the Phoenix platform.
The Phoenix platform is this really ambitious idea for a unifying architecture for development on every single scale. It's designed to connect everything from our personal goals for growth, what the sources call inner development goals, all the way up to the big picture sustainable development goals for the entire planet. It's all about aligning our individual progress with our collective future.
You could almost think of it as a kind of planetary nervous system. Its whole purpose is to help all of humanity make sense of our incredibly complex world, to build trust where there isn't any, and to coordinate effective action that is actually aligned with the reality of our planet.
And this slide really frames a profound choice we're facing, especially with technologies like AI. Are we going to embed them in systems based on competition, which just accelerates conflict and misinformation? Or will we choose to use them for coordination, to model things like climate transitions, and get ahead of massive systemic risks?
So that leaves us with this final, pretty provocative question. In an age where we are so divided, could simulated realities actually be the key to healing our real-world problems? Could a shared, modeled future be the common ground we so desperately need to build a better one, together?